Well, I'm on the farm today. It's April the, I believe it's the 17th. Yeah, today's the 17th. And it's Easter Sunday. Hope everybody's had a great Easter. We're out here in the afternoon. Just a gorgeous day. And I'm kind of lounging around here today. Not really doing anything. But thought I'd do a hay update for April. Cleanup continues here on this farm, and we got some bush hogging to do over there. Got some autumn olives coming up, and I've moved my crone out of this field. I got it in my barn. We'll mosey over there in a little bit. These poles that I moved out of here, I can't remember. These videos are starting to run together. I can't remember if I made a video with my Model 50 and the Land Pride blade knocking those things loose. I'll have to check. But in any event, kind of getting this cleared up, and I got to get that wagon out of there on these little patches like where my crone was, and this we're going to make a few square bales of hay off of it. I got that old plow I need to move. I've been working a little bit on that shelter site right there. I want to get that cleaned out and cleared out, and I may move that shelter over next to my barn. There's a little grass right in here I didn't cut. This is my west field, and but I'm gonna be cutting it this year. The grass is really growing. The grass is just really growing very, very nicely, and we're not fertilizing, so I'm very pleased with the growth that we are getting, and I think a lot of it has to do with just kind of residual grass and residual fertilizer that's you know, we hammer these fields so hard with fertilizer every year. There's got to be something left, and the wind's blowing, so I hope you can hear it. And I'm just kind of noticing this tree appears to be dead, and that's kind of a good thing, because that really gets in the way of our hay cutting, and I have to kind of go around it. And so I have to talk to my brother and see if we can't figure out a way to take that tree down and get the stump out. And there's a couple of big rocks down in there that need to be moved, and that'll really make this nice over here in this corner. You can see it's kind of dark green down in there. It's always really heavy hay down in this corner, and it comes up into this area right here. So I don't think that tree was dead last year, but it certainly is this year. These autumn olives on the side of this field, they just keep growing towards the sun, you know. And on my 300-gallon sprayer, it's got a spray nozzle and a hose, and I think probably when we rebuild that thing, we're going to preserve that such that we can go around the edge of these fields and spray Roundup or triclopyr or something like that to kind of keep these fence rows from growing out too much. This is a dogwood tree. I'm not sure who planted this. It might go back to my grandparents' day. It's been here as long as I can remember. Kind of bumps your head when you're mowing under it, but that's okay. Kind of a nice view of our east field. And again, I'm very pleased with how the grass is growing in there. And I'm expecting lower yields, obviously, but I'm encouraged with the growth I am seeing. And the first opportunity we get after the 1st of May, I don't care if it's knee high or waist high, we're going to cut hay. And the goal is to get this hay cut before it gets too hot, and see if we can get a nice second cutting off of it, and then maybe a third cutting on out in September. Just a slight breeze out here today. Just a gorgeous day, and like I say, not doing any hard labor, just kind of taking it easy here on Easter. This is the lane we use when we come into the farm from the road out there, and from the junk pile I had over here, I had one cinder block, and it's laying right there next to that lane. I got to move that, because if I don't, somebody will be looking at something and they'll drive right over that cinder block, and I'll get full blame for it. I started tinkering with this old Cub Cadet a year or so ago. I'm actually going to get it out of here. So that's very high on my round to it list. Some of the cleanup we're doing includes cleaning out from under all this old barn in here. So this area where I cleared, we're seeing some green come into that area. I'm not sure I'm going to try to plant anything in here this year. I have so many sticks and things like that. Really what I need to do is burn those brush piles out there. So in the barn here, I got still got my little 50-gallon sprayer on the John Deere. I've got some spraying to do over the hill, just a little bit. But we're just about ready to start. We're just about ready to start greasing things up and getting them well in advance ready. I've picked up some lumber. I don't know if I can fit through here or not. Might have to go around. But I got my Farmall 350 in here, and my utility trailer on the back of it. And let me see if I can worm my way around that. So I continue to pick up around the sides of this building, and I'll show you a little more when I get out to the front. But I actually like this trailer better than my four-wheeler P. Buckley Moss trailer, just because it's so handy to reach into, and I can put a trailer ball on this fast hitch in a jiffy and pick it up and go. But I'll be using this. What I got this rigged up for is we got to go around the edges of our field, and there's trees and limbs that have fallen over the winter into the edge of the fields, and I got to saw that stuff up, and I'll haul it out. I'll haul it out on that utility trailer. The Farmall 350, knock on wood, seems to be running okay. My John Deere 335, the only thing I've done to it is put that pin in. I had a video on that. I need to get some twine for it. I was at a store the other day, and they were sold out of this little twine. This is 20,110, I think. Well, let's look. Yeah, this was $20,110, and that's what I plan on using in this baler. That is so much easier than those hairpin clips. So right here I've got my Krone. I mentioned earlier in the video I got it out of that field. I hate this thing sits out in the weather, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And so I've got this thing backed in here, and we'll grease it up, and I think my blades are okay. But I got it on the back of the Massey 1105, and this thing will probably stay hooked up until we start cutting hay. And I may run my square baler on this tractor. I may run the John Deere 335. What I'd like to do, to the extent I can, is take some of the load off my John Deere 5055D and put it on this tractor. And then I have to tell you, the air conditioning in this cab is really nice. So we'll be baling hay when the temperatures are pretty hot, and that I'm getting to the age where that AC blowing down the back of my neck feels pretty good. But this tractor's back, and I've been running it a little bit. I'm anxious to get busy cutting hay. Another thing that I've been tinkering with is this IBC tote, and I'm hoping to have a video on this, but I've got the fittings I need to hook a hose up to it. And what I want to do with this, I had in mind before I bought my 300-gallon sprayer. I had in mind I was going to make a sprayer and use this for the tank. But just feeling the tank on this thing and reading online, especially down around this neck area, that the plastic is so thin that all I need to do is to dump 200 gallons of herbicide out on the ground because it breaks. But what we're going to use this thing for is water, and we're going to use it for a couple things. One of them is when I get to burning these brush piles out here, I want to have a source of water handy if I need it. And then the second thing is I want to use it as a source of water for a pressure washer. And this field right here, I'm probably going to disc this up. This right in here, I'll get all this equipment out. Probably in mid-May, I'll probably start discing this up. And I've got some teff grass I'm going to try again. I planted it here a couple years ago. It didn't do so good. And then it seemed like it came back as a volunteer. I guess it went to seed, and but I'm going to hammer it with herbicide. Sometimes teff can take it, and sometimes it can't. But I can't have weeds growing in the teff. So I'm going to plant it in here, and then this fall we'll probably put in some kind of perennial. We'll probably start out with Timothy, and then let the Kentucky 31 fescue take over from there. But definitely want to make some hay off this field, and I'll also run down through there with it too. Try to get as many bales off here as I can. And we're also got a place over the hill. I won't go over. I'm not going over the hill, but I've got a little patch over there I want to bring into some hay. I got to look at it one more time, but probably put some teff grass in it, and kind of cross my fingers. That might be round bale hay back there, but we'll see. One thing for sure is when I look at Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, there's virtually 0 square bales in this area, and within probably a 50-mile radius. There's some round bales. There may the square bales that are, my customers would pick up in the areas where they live instead of driving over here. They're pretty much exhausted if it's any kind of quality to it, especially, and it's expensive. The hay prices have definitely gone up. I realize things are greening up, but it takes a while for your paddocks to come back. And every field I look at driving around that have animals in it, it looks like they've nibbled it down to a nub. So people are still feeding hay even out here in April. So they got to buy it from somebody. So I don't anticipate much carryover, which will kind of aggravate the supply. I think it'll aggravate the supply come next fall. So prices are going to be up, and of course we're going to have to raise our price too, because whatever we make this year, that's what'll we'll buy the fertilizer for next year. And so I'm anxious to get started with haying. We got some maintenance to do here, and I've got some more videos coming. I had mentioned earlier lumber. I'd cleared out some lumber out in front of here. One of the things I want to do is I want this barn yard cleaned up and mowed off like a lawn, because right, wrong, or indifferent, when you're selling hay to horse people, it inspires confidence in your product when your barn and barnyard doesn't look like a scrap pile or a junkyard. So we got to get, I'm gonna get all these implements out of here. My sprayer over there, it's going to go somewhere else, such that when a customer comes, all they see for the most part is this barn. They don't see stuff piled up like that. I want this place cleaned up, and so we're kind of making preparations for that too, to take care of all that. So not much going on other than that. We're just kind of waiting on the grass to grow. I'm pleased with what I'm seeing, in spite of no fertilizer, and I'm hoping this will be kind of a one-time thing on the fertilizer. And if we get a good price out of first cutting and we cut it early, I may hit these fields with a little bit of nitrogen on second and third cutting. Just got to see what the prices are looking like. And I've even thought about holding hay till we get out into October or November, and to see what the prices are going to look like. I'd hate to sell my hay for like $2 a bale less than everybody else's hay, and so I'm not going to gouge, but I do want a market driven price, and I want enough to glean a profit and pay for our consumables and fertilizer for next year. So got a lot of work in front of us, kind of getting this equipment ready. To start off with, this baler will go on the John Deere, and my other little Massey, I'm gonna put the Massey 50, and we'll put the Vermeer rake tedder on it, and I'll bring it in here somehow or another. I'll wedge it in here, and then I'll use my other Model 50 and my Farmall 350 for whatever other chores we have. And my preference would be to leave these things hooked up to the extent I can. If I can run this on the Massey 350, I'll do that. The quick hitch makes it easy to get that crone on and off. So anyway, if you've stuck out this video, appreciate you watching. Not everything's equipment slamming and banging around, but I thought I'd bring you up to date on where we stand on our haying efforts here in April of 2022. So again, I hope everybody is having a great Easter, or by the time you see this video, you have had a great Easter, and we'll talk to you later.